Hello and welcome. This video is from series on how to freehand a mesh top. In two previous videos we talked about how to choose the right yarn for the project and how to measure that yarn for your project. So please watch those if you haven't, and let's start today's lesson. In this lesson you will find out how to form the shape of your mesh top, your own mesh top, your own shape. Okay, learn the main stitches that you will need for forming that shape, how to increase, how to decrease, and why do you need those increases and decreases. So let's start from the shape. To understand the shape, you have to grab your favorite t-shirt. And basically, freehanding is about recreating this comfortable shape in your own design, in your own fabric. I mean, of course, there are always ways to actually build your pattern from scratch, to create design from scratch, to create that blueprint, but that's a little bit too deep for today. And basic freehanding, and we're talking about basic freehanding today, is like this. You grab a t-shirt and you shape your own thing following that t-shirt, those lines. We will be talking about the shape we already have, and you're sure that this is your comfortable shape. Okay, the way why t-shirt is so comfortable, because it follows your anatomical line. See, it's not like two squares sewed together. It has this line, this beautiful neckline, and this is why it's so comfortable. Those armholes, shoulders, this one. And if you want the mesh top to be comfortable, you just follow those lines. But how? If we take a look at any t-shirt, we see that from the bottom until the armholes, those are pretty much two squares. And squares are easy to recreate, okay? But how about all this stuff? This looks complicated, but we're gonna break this complicated part into a few less complicated parts, and it will make more sense. So for this exact design, for this exact approach, I decided to take my ruler and to start making a top, a mesh top, from here up to here and then down here, and replicate another shoulder, fix those together and go this way. So it's not the probably most common way or approach to crochet things, but it totally makes sense. You will see why it makes sense. Okay, so let's analyze the shoulders, okay, because this is where we start. First we make this part and then this part. I actually have something to show you. I've already made those two shoulders, and I'm about to use the part that I've made so that it makes a bit more sense. I place it right here, but in the next video we will be going like all the way. You will crochet along with me. Okay, so this is how this shirt started, and if you count the squares from here, it was the first line, the first row, and here you will see an interesting thing. So I have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 squares. And as the line goes up, like let's say here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. And I have 19 here, or maybe 20 here. So how did I do that? See, if this was just a rectangular, I would go like 12 squares here, 12 here, everywhere 12 squares. But I didn't increase. I increased so that my shoulder of my mesh top follows this line. Let's take a look at those regular squares and at those increases. The next lesson is made on this yarn, but in order to show you the basic stitch, I go for a bigger yarn. Why is that? So that it's more comfortable for you to understand the movement. Okay, the basic stitch for this project is an extended double crochet stitch. By the way, I'm gonna be using a little bit of this extension here. I just grab the random piece of yarn and I wrap it around my pinky so that it's easier for me to hold on to. You can use that tip also. Anyway, the chart for filet mesh without increases is like this: 2 chains and 1 extended double crochet stitch. So what is that extended double crochet? Yarn over, skip 2 definitely because we are making squares. Pull the yarn through the stitch and then 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, chain 2, yarn over, skip 2, and work this stitch in 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. For a regular double crochet stitch, we would go yarn over, let's say, pull the yarn out of here, and then 1 and 2. See? But for an extended double crochet, what we do, we make a yarn over, 1, 2, skip, go into the third one, and I go 1, 2, 3. So that's the stitch. Once again, 1, 2, and yarn over, skip 2, and 1, 2, 3. Why an extended double crochet is better than a regular double crochet? Because a regular double crochet stitch is a little bit smaller, and this stitch actually helps you to create a square with equal sides. You will see a little bit further that it does make sense. And every beginning of the row is always 1, 2, 3 chains, and then 1, 2, skip 2, which is very obvious because you go into this stitch, and 1, 2, 3. Okay, you've got your square. 1, 2, and extended double crochet like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, yarn over, and extended double crochet. 1, 2, extended double crochet. The beauty of a square formed by extended double crochet is that you can go either this way or then this way or maybe this way, and the squares have equal sides, so you can start basically from any side, which is very useful for the project, for the approach I'm talking about in this video. Anyway, so I hope you've got the idea of your mesh stitch. Okay, this is your main mesh stitch, and this is the chart. It doesn't matter how many squares you have here, like you can have 2, 3, 10, it doesn't matter. So filet mesh for this project is like this: chain 2, extended double crochet, well, and of course 3 chains to go 1 row up. The idea of freehanding is you know the shape that you want to recreate, you count your own stitches, your own squares. So here you count how many squares you need, and you do not depend on a yarn or a pattern yarn oriented, because see here with the smaller yarn, with finer yarn, I have 12 squares right here to form this shoulder part, and with a thicker yarn I will have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, only 9 squares here. Okay, and depending on your yarn, you just figure out your own thing. And just remember to have your ruler. Your own t-shirt, maybe you're of a bigger size, then you will have more squares. If you're smaller, then you will have less squares. So just count your own thing. But let's get back to the increases. So obviously I already need an increase here. The line goes up. I need more squares. I don't have enough squares here. It's very obvious because the line goes here, not here. If I don't increase, I go like here. It's not okay for this project. I need to go like this. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 squares in my case will turn into 10 squares within the next row. So let's take a look at the chart again. So for this project, this is how I make an increase. Since we're making increases only on one side, see, this line remains straight, this line remains straight, and we're going this way. So only this side is where increases happen. So we take a look at the chart, and you increase at the end of the row. How do you increase? You have your extended double crochet like a regular here, okay, and then chain 2 and an extended treble crochet. By treble crochet I mean a stitch with yarn over 2, okay, into the same stitch. And this is how you get your squares. In my case, 9 squares and a triangle, which becomes a square in the next row. So I will finish this row on camera. 1 2 3, 1 2. This is what always going on in the beginning of the row. And now yarn over, and I finish this row, and at the end of the row I will be making an increase. I will be increasing. Okay, so this is my last stitch. See the last square here, and I need to increase here. This is where I am. Okay, so chain 2, the last stitch goes into here. Those are just our regulars. Okay, no increases row looks like this, and the increased row looks like this. Chain 2, yarn over 2, and go into the same stitch. And this is how your increase happens. Let's take a look. You might want to use your pins. See? I'll get rid of this one. It does start following this line. Line goes up. This one remains straight, this one remains straight, and this one goes up. So in the next row, you will just turn this kind of triangle into a square. Chain 3, chain 2, and with a regular extended double crochet you go into here. So that's it, you've got your square your square above this triangle. So the idea is I'm not going deeper into following this shoulder, because this is what we will be doing in the next video. But I really hope that you've got the idea. Anytime you see that you do need an increase, you use that increase when you need to widen your shoulder, for example, like here. And when you do not need an increase, you do not increase, okay? You just see how the line goes. So in my case, I increased every other row. Here I had an increase, and then I didn't increase, because it's just, you know, too many increases and your line goes like this. I do not want that. No increases, the line goes this way. Okay, so I made those increases every other row. Increase here, no increase here, increase here, no increase here, increase here, no increase here. Now, when I've reached this point, I needed decreases, because if we count those stitches, if we count those squares, let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 14, 15, 16, 17 here, but here I need like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, maybe 15. And here I need just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, only 9. Here I need only 3. Here I need only 1. Like I said, I'm going from this to this point. So that means I need to decrease. But how do I decrease? Now, a few words about the beauty of freehanding. Like I said, with this yarn, I increased here, 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 like every other row, okay? And with this yarn, which is much thicker, I increased here, here, and here. And then I realized, I put the ruler back, and then I realized that I don't want any more increases. Okay, this line is straight, this line is straight, this line went up, but if I increase, it goes like this. I don't want that. So I increased 1, 2, 3 times, and I stop increasing, and probably just one more increase for here, and then I will start decreasing for the neckline. I hope that makes sense. Increase or decrease not because the pattern says so, but because the line says so. Your own line dictates you what to do. Your own size, your own unique design dictates you what to do. Okay, I made my own amount of increases. And what do we have here? Keep your ruler right here so that it makes sense. Straight line here, straight line here, increases here, straight line here, but I want this line to go like this. And here I definitely do not go up until here. I don't want that. Those two squares form my line beautifully, so I want another triangle here, and then square, 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 square. How do I do that? I make a decrease. And in this project, this is how decreases happen. At the end of the row, when I reach the end of the row, those are my regular squares. It doesn't matter the amount of squares, doesn't matter. Like 20, 30, 10, 5, it doesn't matter. You reach the end of the row. And you make a stitch that is formed from one extended double crochet and one extended treble crochet worked together. We'll skip 2 definitely, because you need this side of the triangle to be formed. So skipping 2 is what helps you to form that triangle. So this is your decrease in one row, and for the next row you will be forming another triangle. Actually, you can, if you don't need the decrease going that fast, you will be having here a square also. So here you will have your 3 chains, 2 chains, and then an extended double crochet. But if you need another triangle, you will go for 1, 2, 3, 4 chains and going into this one. So you will have a triangle and a triangle. Okay, if you need a faster decrease, but if you don't, then use just this one. Then this is a regular row, just squares, and then another row and a triangle at the end of that row. So like skipping that row. Okay, and this is what I'm gonna do right now. So see, I want my triangle to go about here. Okay, so I'm crocheting until about here, and this is where I form my triangle, my decrease. Okay, so I form a triangle over this third square. So I have my last square, and then no chains, just yarn over 2 and definitely skip this one and go into this stitch. So I have this triangle. This one, and now I will go for this one. So I chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, turn. See, this was my triangle from the previous row, and now it's a square, and I want this square to become a triangle in the next row. So yarn over and just go into this part of the square. See, triangle, triangle above the square, and the next stitch is definitely a square. And let's see what it looks like when I finish this row. Okay, so I have to place my ruler so that it touches the neckline, and see what we have here. Oh wow, this is exactly what I needed. See, this was my last row without decreases, and here I had this triangle and this triangle. And what happens next, you already can tell. I will be going until about here with my squares, and I will form a square here, okay, and then another square here, and go back until the end of the row. Now what about this example? Remember, here I skipped like 2 at the beginning of the row, and this is where I started decreases. What did I do here? What happened here? I skipped more squares, okay, and then I started decreasing. So in this case, since the yarn is much thinner, is much finer, I will have more decreases to reach this point. So just try figuring out every single row on your own. But the good news is that all these stitches that we've talked about today are pretty much enough to freehand any mesh top, any filet mesh top. Okay, so in the next video we'll be showing you the actual process of crocheting. So I will be showing you how I work on this thin yarn, and I hope it will make even more sense. And we'll see you in the next lesson.